One interesting thing that I'm a little discouraged by, and it feels like Bitcoin Magazine is ripping off vendors. And it feels weird to say. I mean, I could use a little bit more research and verify it, but two vendors, when I bought something, they asked me to use credit card. And I'm thinking, this is the Bitcoin conference. They're promoting using Bitcoin to buy things. In fact, they are trying to set a world record for the most amount of Bitcoin transactions in a specific area. Uh, and I found out by talking a little bit further, like, why are you guys asking for cash or credit? And if I need to, and that's the only form I have, I can pay in Bitcoin. They, they told me that the organization, Bitcoin Magazine, that puts on the conference, who sets up the terminals and helps everybody out with all this stuff, is charging 8% fees to the merchants. 8% fees. We talk about in the Bitcoin ethos that credit card systems are just a way to keep businesses forced to use their service. They charge them on average 3.5% for every transaction. That's why you see some like restaurants, like out in Arizona, we have a lot of Mexican restaurants that they'll give you a discounted price with cash, but it'll be an upcharge of an extra 3.5% if you pay with card, because that covers all these fees. And we talk about Bitcoin fixes this. Well, not Bitcoin when it's Bitcoin Magazine, apparently. So it really seems like they're scamming out on their merchants, making things a little bit difficult for them. I'm curious. I do need to do a little bit more research on that. So maybe one of the merchants was a little inaccurate, or maybe there were some other issues. But the fact that people in the Bitcoin conference are asking for us not to pay with Bitcoin is a red flag. And that seems to be logical if they're charging 8%. That just doesn't seem right. There's a lot of things that Bitcoin Magazine does that isn't necessarily a Bitcoin maximalist viewpoint, but that is something that's harmful. And I'm not too keen on that. So I want to do a little bit more digging on that.